Welcome, health smoothies instead of booze, to Geek Salad's retro movie reviews. Yeah, from the Geek Salad podcast. I'm Andy,
and I'm Mike.
And tonight we continue with one of the lower-rated Daniel Craig Bond movies, Spectre. So this is an interesting one because this you didn't watch Quantum prior to this, right? Prior to our review, right?
Hold on, I gotta
go for it. Go. Take care of the dog. I will vamp. So yes, we are discussing the 2015 Daniel Craig film Spectre. It's all been leading up to this one, in my opinion. It's the first one after the Best Picture worthy. Fight me on that. Skyfall.
No, it was. Sorry, what was your question now?
My question was this the first of the Craigs that you hadn't seen?
Yes.
Prior to so you had seen Quantum before, right?
I'd seen Casino Royale, Quantum, and Skyfall all in theaters.
It's just these two, the next two you haven't seen.
Right.
All right. So yeah, so we're talking Spectre. Lot riding on this one. I remember when this came out. Lot riding on this one because they finally got the Spectre name back. You could finally do the old-timey Bond stories because Kevin McClory either gave up the lawsuit or died or something. I don't know. But they got the rights back. They got the rights back, and that's all that really matters. We're finally going to get the classic villain cabal that is Spectre. So, Mike.
Yes.
You told me right before we started that you wanted to read the back of the DVD cover or the Blu-ray cover because it
is like basically the synopsis on the back of this thing is they just don't care about giving away any spoilers anymore. They're just like laying it all out there. Like, a cryptic message from the past sends James Bond, Daniel Craig, on a rogue mission to Mexico City and eventually Rome, where he meets Lucia Sciarra, the beautiful and forbidden widow of an infamous criminal. Bond infiltrates a secret meeting and uncovers the existence of a sinister organization known as Spectre. It goes on. Meanwhile, back in London, Max Denbigh, Andrew Scott, the new head of Center for National Security, questions Bond's actions and challenges the relevance of MI6, led by M, Ralph Fiennes. Bond covertly enlists Moneypenny, Naomi Harris, and Q, Ben Whishaw, to help him seek out Madeline Swan, Leah Sado, the daughter of his old nemesis, Mr. White, Jasper Christensen, who may hold the clue to untangling the web of Spectre. As the daughter of an assassin, she understands Bond in a way most others cannot. As Bond ventures towards the heart of Spectre, he learns a chilling connection between himself, and the enemy he seeks, played by Christoph Waltz.
Yeah.
Basically, if you haven't seen this movie already, there you go. That's the movie. You don't need to watch it anymore.
So, I mean, I'm assuming it goes without saying. The movie is 7 years old, Mike. And even though this is the very first time you've seen Spectre, you knew, right?
I knew that Blofeld was in there, played by Christoph
Waltz. Yeah. My God, the textual Star Wars exposition of this. What would have been better, Kurt, quite honestly, is as they're doing this and you see Princess Leia, parentheses, Carrie Fisher.
Oh, that would have been
Darth Vader, parentheses, David Prowse.
Yeah, but we would have had to put parentheses David Prowse and James Earl Jones.
Well, they didn't credit. Originally, they did not credit James Earl Jones for the voice.
True.
Black man can't get a break in this town, can he? So, yeah. Spectre. Yeah. This secret was about as well kept as when Benedict Cumberbatch played Khan in Star Trek Into Darkness. I tried very hard to give it the benefit of the doubt that we were going to get some twist that, okay, we're thinking he's Khan, and then, zoom, they just show you somebody else. Like, oh, that's really Khan. Oh, my God, that's awesome. No.
Yeah.
Same thing.
And I mean, and that's the thing is like they don't even reveal the Blofeld thing until maybe half an hour before the end of the movie. Like,
40 minutes before the end of the movie. I remember because excuse me.
get some water or beer, whatever. There you go.
It's proud liquor night today, baby. By the way, next week I'm going to attempt to, no promises, but next week to wrap up, I might actually do a separate video where I make the Vesper Martini.
Ooh.
I might
have a separate video where I might have a separate video where I don't drink it.
Right, exactly. It might be my child holding the camera up so I can do it.
I'm hoping it's Scarlett and not Jamie.
Oh, it'll definitely be Scarlett. She's she's 5'7". She's fine. So, and he's got the Alex Jones cut. Yeah, I know. I gave you everything. I gave everything I know. And yeah, no, that's it. I don't know what you want from me.
Moving on.
I'm not chewing gum. I get gauze in my mouth.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. So, yeah, I've had one drink. Seriously, I'm just hyped. Yeah, I feel like this movie should have been better.
Yeah.
But to put a caveat on there, this isn't a bad movie.
No, not by any means. It's just, all cards on the table. I literally watched it for the very first time yesterday.
Yes.
Start to finish. And it was a movie where I'm like, okay, it was pretty good. But like, as I went to bed and I was just thinking about the movie more, I'm like, that hole, that was a plot hole. That was yeah. The more you think about it, the more the movie kind of falls apart a bit. It's still not a bad movie, but
right.
There are a lot of issues.
A lot of it has to do with the fact that prior to Spectre, they hadn't resolved the McClory issue yet. So we were going to, essentially, Quantum was going to be the big thing. Mm-hmm. And then they totally forgot about it for Skyfall because they knew that they would, I think at this point they knew that they were getting Spectre back. So Quantum just fell by the wayside. But it does feel like they did a lot of like, oh shit, we need to address this. Oh shit, we need to address this. Now, I will say
they did do a lot of like kind of revising their own backstory, like a lot of retconning stuff.
Oh, you think?
Silva. Oh yeah, he was my. Was he?
Let me list off a number of names that have appeared in all of your movies, Daniel Craig.
Yeah, and they were all mine.
Eva Green.
Were they? At Quantum, I can see the big one that is just like Silva, and dealing with Am. That had nothing to do with Spectre at all. Come on.
Yeah. So, yeah, and the funniest part about that whole thing is at the end of the movie where they're in what's left of MI6.
Yeah,
and. Bond is going down. He sees all the targets first with his face, and then he sees Le Chiffre, and then he sees Vesper.
Yeah,
and then he sees why
he sees Mr. White. He sees M.
Mr. White. He sees M, and he sees why I did this last week.
Silva.
He sees Silva. No Green because fuck Quantum.
They mentioned Green.
He mentions Green once, as then, I am the architect of all your pain, James.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, there's a lot of stuff that is wrong about Christoph Waltz being Blofeld. Not so much that he is Blofeld, but the fact that they rushed it. To your point, we're not even given his name until 40 minutes until the end of the movie. And I know this because at the half hour before the end of movie mark, and that's before the credit, that's including credit time, which is about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
They're back in London.
Yeah.
To another helicopter. This movie is bookended by helicopters, by the way.
Well, that finale is, we'll get to it.
It's yeah.
I've got thing.
We
I've
need to
got
break down. I definitely think we need to break down action sequences, but we will do that in a moment.
yeah.
But I feel like if they'd given themselves more time, and Daniel Craig didn't say after this one that fucking I'm done. You get one more out of me and I'm done. We could have had a really good run with Blofeld, but unfortunately, because that's it.
Yeah,
That's it, babe.
And last week when I was talking about Skyfall, I was hoping for I mentioned that I was hoping for some kind of deeper connection between M and Silva. Like maybe like a son or a brother or something like that. And what we got was in this movie, we got a deeper connection between Bond and Blofeld that really it really didn't do much for the plot. I mean, there was a this is why I want to kill you. You want to kill him because he's been foiling you at every turn, and he's trying to take down Spectre. He's gone rogue to take down Spectre.
Yeah,
that's enough of a connection. You don't need to be your like quasi stepbrothers.
But a lot of it has to just do with the fact that Hollywood needs to give their villains more than just I am evil.
Yeah.
Dude, look at me. Look at this scar running across my eye.
That you gave me.
Dude, I'm just evil. I do appreciate they gave him a Persian cat. I really hope that cat escaped the explosion, though. That's like the only thing I was thinking of. That whole place blew up, and I'm like, the cat got out.
Yeah. And it's not very good construction architecture when one bullet hitting a gas tank can blow up the entire facility.
Yes. But let's break the movie down a little bit more, because this isn't. I do not agree with a lot of lists I see that put this as second or third worst Bond movie ever. Not even fucking close.
No, this is still better than at least 75% of more.
Exactly. And I know that people in my generation are crying over that right now, but fuck it.
It's true. Sorry.
No, it is. Roger Moore movies have their place, but they are ridiculous. This at least makes the attempts.
Yeah.
But, it's one of those things that you walk out of the theater. I remember walking out of the theater with this one going, yeah, man, boom, awesome. But just like you. And just when I went to go see Transformers, I'm like, oh, man, that was really great. Wait a second. Wait one goddamn second. Hey. Yeah. It's not one I go back to a lot, but we got to talk about that opening. It is the only realistic, legitimate opening of a Craig movie that is more attuned to like how Bond used to be.
Yeah.
There are tie-ins that go to the bigger story, but for the most part, that 5-minute uninterrupted shot is so good. And Sam Mendes, I know that was like him working his way through. I'm gonna do this for an entire movie, which I own 1917. I still haven't watched.
But yeah, I mean the whole like what was a Dia de los Muertos scene. That was a really nice, well shot scene. That whole shot.
It was not only was it a well shot scene. You know the funny thing about that is I was reading the trivia on IMDb, but that city in Mexico never hosted a Dia de los Muertos. Day of the Dead. I'm just saying Day of the Dead. They've never hosted a Day of the Dead until the movie came out. Then they're like, yeah, we can do this. Barring any helicopter fights, this is a pretty safe thing. Yeah. But I enjoyed it because for the first time, it was like, out of all the opening things in the Craig Bonds, it's the most fun because it took us back to the wetsuit with the pelican on it, or not View to a Kill because that was fucking stupid, but some of the other stuff that Moore did.
Yeah, it felt like the old because for the most part, a lot of like the Craig stuff is just him getting beat the shit for or like maybe 5 minutes. This is the first time it like felt like my Bond is just there to like take out his target and then escape with class.
Yeah, I'll get all the credit in the world to Daniel Craig. That I really feel like he is the only Bond who has broken a bone, any bone, in all of his movies.
Yeah.
He puts himself out there a lot more, and I know there is some stunt work done. I don't for 1 second believe that he was out there Tom Cruising it on the landing gear of that helicopter at the very beginning, punching a dude. I don't believe for 1 second that was really happening, but it looked good.
Yeah.
It looked damn good.
Really.
And considering that we're still kind of fresh from Pierce Brosnan CG parasailing a tsunami.
Yeah.
With a goddamn space laser.
The less said about that, the better.
Yeah. I feel like the action scenes in general were good because they weren't, just like a lot of the stuff in the Craig series, they weren't what you were expecting.
Yeah.
Because I remember you brought up to me yesterday when you were watching, it's like, oh, an Alpine village. Ski chase? No.
Instead, I was like, I did a reference to the Untouchable.
Connery. You made a Connery reference. Or paraphrase Connery.
Just like a Brit. Bring a plane to a car chase.
That was a really good action sequence. A lot of the action in this movie was really low key. I will say, because we were talking about where a lot of the influence from this came from, and some of this influence came from On Her Majesty's Secret Service. You're going to see more of that in No Time to Die. Sorry, spoiler. But you had mentioned From Russia with Love, and I absolutely agree with that. 100% train scene.
Yeah, when I brought that up, it was during the train scene, and that whole fight against Hinks.
Yeah,
he was fine, but it reeked of Shaw, of Robert Shaw.
Not Sebastian Shaw, who was played by Kevin Bacon in X-Men First Class. Sorry, black guy can't die first here. But getting into some of the characters, obviously Daniel Craig is phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's still amazing in this, even though this movie's got some serious non-quantum heavy flaws, but he's really good in this.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Dave Bautista real quick. It's nice. Honestly, I gotta say, it's nice to have a silent henchman again. Even though I don't feel like he was a henchman, like he wasn't at any point at Blofeld's side. He was a heavy. He was definitely an enforcer.
Yeah.
But the fact that the only words that he speaks in the entire movie are his last words of "oh shit."
Yeah. And I thought first, like when I first saw him, and he had like those like almost like metal thumbnails or whatever.
That was the way he dispatched people, was gouging their eyes out instead of biting them like a fucking idiot.
Then throughout like his fight with Bond, I was looking for those and I didn't see them. I was like, were they like removable and you just like put them on for like when he's killing somebody and then he takes them off when he doesn't need to?
Maybe because he knew he was going to have to kill that guy.
Yeah.
At the table. I thought Dave Bautista was very serviceable in what he was asked to do in this, which was, and keep in mind too, this is 1 year removed from Guardians.
Yeah.
And I am 100% behind him just being as giddy as a schoolgirl being offered the role of a villain in a James Bond movie.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the thing is like I've heard some interviews with Bautista, like right around Guardians of the Galaxy and time for this one, and he's like he knows his limitation. He's not like a true thespian. He's trying to get better, but for now he basically takes roles that he thinks he can do well, and the directors have to use him in those roles well, and they did.
he is well aware that he is not a Dwayne Johnson.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, if you really break it down for wrestlers turned to actors, he is the second most successful in terms of just overall box office. Sorry, Hogan.
Hey, Suburban Commando. All right.
So going down the list here of other characters, again, I didn't have any issues with Waltz as Blofeld. I mean, Christoph Waltz has a type.
Yeah.
He has a type of character that he is amazing in. It made all the sense in the world that he was going to be Blofeld, but I will say one thing. When I heard that Andrew Scott was in this movie, I thought he was your red herring. I thought he was going to be Blofeld. No,
I did text you like as soon like when they were talking about like Max Andrew Scott's character Max like early on, and they were saying like, oh, he's playing in the. I'm like, I texted you. They're really setting him up to be a villain, and guess what? I was right.
Well, what I like is the fact that he was doing it for more, like, it wasn't for the money. No. We need to watch Suburban Commando for my next retro review. Oh, god damn you, Kurt. God.
I don't think it's streaming anywhere, so, oh well.
Kurt, I'll hit you up offline. I just thought of something worse that we could do. We have a holiday season coming up, my friend. And guess who's got muscles? Santa Claus has got muscles, Mike. And I think maybe.
I'm blanking.
That's the actual title of the movie, Mike. It's called Santa with Muscles.
Okay, I've never even heard of this one.
God damn it. Oh, my God. Okay, we're doing it. We're doing it.
No,
Kurt,
we're not.
Put it on your calendar for December. Oh, no, we're doing it. We're fucking doing it.
Veto, sir.
Veto. Yeah, oh, yeah. That's the problem with only being two of us here. It's a 50-50 split. All right, so back to this. I legitimately thought that, much like I was kind of hoping for that Benedict Cumberbatch con red herring, I really thought Andrew Scott would have pulled off Blofeld amazingly well, only because at this point, all I had known him from was Sherlock.
Yeah, he's Moriarty.
He's Moriarty, and he's fantastic in that movie.
Yeah, he's got such a punchable face, doesn't he?
He does. And what's weird is when you see him playing normal people. Like, I don't know. Did you watch Fleabag?
I've never even heard of Fleabag.
All right, so Fleabag is Phoebe Waller-Bridger's show. It only ran for 2 seasons. It's really good. But he plays a priest who has a lapse where he hooks up with her. And it's weird seeing him not being a total creep.
Yeah.
Because he's got those eyes and he's still got that voice.
Yeah.
And
his face is just so wonderfully punchable.
No, it is.
Like, hi! Boom!
That's why he makes such a great villain, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he's hands down the best Moriarty I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Loved him as Moriarty.
Yeah.
All right, so moving down the list here, we got Leah Seydoux as Madeline.
Fine.
She's fine. The whole, like, we love each other thing came a little too quick for my tastes.
Yeah, like one scene, she's like, "Yeah, you come into my bed, I'm going to kill you."
Yeah,
and then adrenaline rush. Let's have sex.
Well, honestly, that's the best sex. It just seriously is. But she will have a bigger, and I'm not spoiling anything. She will have a bigger impact in No Time to Die.
I am actually glad to hear that she's coming back because I thought this would kind of go as a one-off Bond girl thing.
Yeah, no, it was nice because again, he finds the love of his life, but it doesn't end up like on Her Majesty's Secret Service where Blofeld, shoots her at the the end of the movie.
Baby.
I got to tell you, Ralph Fiennes as M. This is the best he will be throughout the series.
He was
I
so good.
loved him in this. He is in the field. He confronts your secondary villain in C.
Yeah, and yeah, like that conversation he had with C is like, have you ever shot someone?
Yeah,
Have you ever pulled the trigger? And that whole conversation is just he delivers it so beautifully well.
it was. It was. He was. I mean, it's just again, we're at the point now where it's just like stodgy British white guy playing M, but did a
Yeah.
great job.
If you're gonna choose a stodgy British white guy, Ralph Fiines is a fine choice.
Yeah, Ray Fiennes is amazing in that. I mean,
Yeah.
I've always loved him.
Yeah.
Schindler's List, he is just astoundingly good in that. And quite honestly, it's tough because I really love Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive, but really, retroactively picking Oscars, Ray Fiennes should have won that Oscar that year. And also, Quiz Show. If you've never seen Quiz Show, he's so good in it because it's so against his normal type of character. Definitely worth it. Monica Bellucci, the oldest Bond girl.
Oh,
She had been trying to become a Bond girl for years.
I'd heard that, yeah.
And it's just like it never happened. Actually, she auditioned and got very far in the process for the Terry Hatcher role in Tomorrow Never Dies. I kind of feel like it's a cameo more than anything else. She doesn't appear again.
Yeah.
But the scene where they introduce her coming into her own home and the guys who are sent to kill her is one of the best filmed scenes in this entire movie because it's all silent.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm glad that they didn't kill her off. It would have been so easy to have her die at the end of that scene. But instead we got I was hoping we would actually see Felix, but just mentioning him was still very nice.
Yeah. Spoiler, you'll get him next movie.
I figured as much.
Yeah. I love Ben Whishaw. He's cute.
I loved him more in this movie than I did in the last movie, and I loved him in the last movie.
He had a very small presence in the last movie. It was just like, we got to get Q out of the way. People are asking for Q. We'll throw him in here. He's barely in this. With this movie, there was a scene where they're restoring the car.
Oh.
And he's like, I told you to bring it back in one piece. Well, I guess you did just bring back one piece of it. And he starts cracking up.
And
it's almost, I want to believe that was a take that they just like, keep it.
Yeah.
Friggin' keep this scene.
But the scene on the gondola, though.
Oh my God, yeah.
He was fantastic in that scene.
I love the fact that they're getting the other agents involved, not just the double O's. Yeah. They're getting the other agents involved in the caper, if you will. M sees more field time in this than in any other movie. Q, he is in the thick of it. Moneypenny not so much in this one, but she got a lot in Skyfall. Yeah. She will get some more in the next movie.
Yeah.
And then I got one last person here is Jesper Christensen as Mr. White. Who would have guessed that a tertiary character that was introduced at the very end of Casino Royale was going to have a 3-movie arc?
I thought he was introduced earlier.
He may have been. He wasn't at the casino table, so does it really matter?
He was the one that killed Le Chiffre.
Yeah, he was, but that was then again, yeah, sorry. That was 45 minutes before the end of the movie. My bad.
And he also also the one that talks to Le Chiffre at the very beginning of the movie.
Okay.
So he was a presence throughout the movie, just in the background.
Right, but he's been a tertiary character throughout. It was really satisfying not only to do that, but to tie him to Madeline, because there was a line. I'm not going to give it away. There was a line that Madeline has in the movie that will tie directly to No Time to Die.
Okay.
You'll know it when you see it. I don't want to spoil anything because, quite honestly, I love No Time to Die.
All right.
Yeah, overall, I feel like this movie has its moments. It's not my go-to. I mean, quite honestly, if I'm in the mood for a Bond movie, I'm going to go right to Casino Royale, but if I want it, Casino Royale and then Skyfall. If I got to do that follow up for people I'm introducing Bond to for the first time, it's Casino Royale, then Skyfall. This one is going to be like when you get the time, watch it.
Yeah.
Kind of like
No,
a Live and Let Die.
yeah.
It really kind of feels like it's that level of a Bond movie.
Yeah. For me, it's like it was good, not great, but it was good up until like when they get back to London. That's where the movie really starts to fall apart for me.
Considering this movie is over 2.5 hours long, this is where you cut. This is where you trim.
It's just there's so many plot holes. Like they it's like, okay, we got to the safe house. We'll find out how safe it is, and then when they escape, the bad guys seem to know exactly where they are. They know that it's just Bond and M in the front car because they said we need both of them.
Yeah.
Why do they need M?
No, C needed M.
Oh.
He even says that. He's like, I need him alive.
But why?
I think mainly just to gloat. Again, let's not look in the spectrum of reality when it comes to Bond villains. He just wants to fucking gloat.
Yeah. But then, like, and the whole like kidnapping Swan and locking her up in the MI6 building, it was like, really you're gonna do that? And then like he finds her with like pretty easily, actually.
Yeah. At that point, the filmmakers are looking at their watches like, we got to wrap this up.
Yeah, and
she's
then
in there.
And then after the building explodes and Bond is dead now. Let's fly away in my helicopter as slowly as possible.
You and I both know helicopters are not fast conveyance.
Someone's shooting at the helicopter. Let's just sit back. What was that?
Quite honestly, I had a hard time believing that with a Walter PTK that he could hit the fuselage, he could actually hit the fuel gauge with a handgun. With a fucking handgun.
Quite frankly, I think the boat was traveling twice as fast as the helicopter was.
My favorite part of that, though, is that when Blofeld realized that there's some problems, he puts his seatbelt on. He's like, buckle for safety.
He hears bullets ping against the hull.
I gotta say, this movie doesn't carry.
He hears the bullets ping against the outside of the helicopter. He's like, what was it?
Freezing up. There we go.
Oh. No, you're frozen up. Yeah, there we go.
And it's gone.
Okay. No, yeah, you're back. Wait, I can hear you.
All right, repeat what you just said.
All right, well, it's just like, Blofeld heard the bullets ping against the outside of the helicopter. He was just like, what was that? Really?
Yeah.
You're a criminal mastermind of Spectre and you don't care?
I'd be like, what could he do? He's shooting us with a handgun. This movie doesn't have a whole lot of humor in it, but I will say the funniest thing in this entire movie is when Bond sees that Madeline's been kidnapped in the Alps. And the security guards go after him, and he beats up that one guy, and he's like, no, stay. And it was like, yes.
He's like,
that was fucking brilliant. Yeah. So, it is really good, and I love the fact, and I'll be 100% honest with you again, not spoiling anything, but there is a lot. No Time to Die is a fun movie to watch, but we gotta wait till next week.
Yeah.
Let's move on to music. Again, this is Thomas Newman. It felt more cinematic. It felt as cinematic as Skyfall did, without feeling like it's just a rote Bond score.
Yeah.
I like Dave Arnold, but Dave Arnold only has so many tricks. Thomas Newman is really good at this. We talked about this on the podcast when it comes to the Writings on the Wall by Sam Smith. It's a song that I'm never going to love, but I feel like when I first heard it, I'm like, oh, this song sucks. I've grown to accept
it.
and maybe even like the song a little bit. I like the song. I don't love the song, but I like the song.
It's a fine song. It's just it's that falsetto. The falsetto. It's I've never been a fan of it. Very few singers can pull it off, and I don't really think Sam Smith can pull it off.
Right. He's pushing it. It's just one of those things that his voice wasn't right for the song, but he wrote it. He was hot at the time, and he won an Oscar for it. So, still blows my mind that he won an Oscar for it. But whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I give this movie a solid C+. I enjoyed it. I did not mind this movie as much as some Bond aficionados really, really hate this movie. I did not mind it. Again, it's not my first go-to. There are 3 other Daniel Craig movies I'd go to first.
I still put this one above Quantum of Solace.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact it's its own movie and not a follow-up to the previous film. Even though all the props in the world to give this Craigiverse a bit of a continuity. The fact that we are referencing other characters from other movies, I am fine with when it comes to this. It's not like they're going back and like, do you remember that entanglement you had with Scaramanga?
Yeah.
Remember when they blasted you into space? Yeah.
Yeah, at least there's a continuity between the Craig ones. The other Bonds, there's never been a continuity. Every movie has been a standalone. This one, you kind of have to watch Casino Royale, The Quantum of Solace, to Skyfall to this one in order to really kind of get the whole story.
Yeah. So that was. I like this movie. I don't love it.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with it. I am totally fine with this movie.
I don't hate the fact that I watched it.
So anyway, folks. Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't. I'm glad that you finally got a chance to watch it. You owned it for 7 years.
Yeah.
Almost 7, 6 years because this was released in November.
Yeah, you can't really say it, but the
Pristine.
thing is actually convex a little bit. It's been sitting on the bottom of this stack of DVDs.
Oh, nice.
Behind me. Now it's
yeah. And you know what? The funny thing, you brought up a good point about this too, because this isn't streaming anywhere that you can just get. You got to pay for the rental.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious about this because you had mentioned. Okay, so I'm looking at my Blu-ray copy of Skyfall right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Skyfall is, I'll put up the camera there, that is an MGM film. This is distributed by MGM. What's on the spine of your Spectre? Oh, wait, no, wait. There it is.
Yeah, I'm
I think
on
Fox
the
was distributing these because MGM just said.
I'm on the Wikipedia here.
Yeah, MGM was a movie studio.
Yeah, it says that
distribution.
This one, along with the previous 3 movies, were released on Blu-ray by 20th Century Fox and Home Entertainment. But it was along with all 3 of the previous movies, so that wouldn't really explain why this one alone is like for rental on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, this is crazy because it's not on Amazon, it's not on Netflix, it's not on Epix. Those are the 3. Every once in a while, actually, yeah, just mentioned Netflix. But yeah, out of all the Craig movies, out of the 3 streaming services, it's not streaming anywhere. I can't explain it. It's fucking McClory. He's coming back just to bite us one more time.
The ghost of McClory strikes again.
So anyway, that was Spectre. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this movie. I'm actually really genuinely interested to know if you like this movie. I mean, you don't have to love it, but do you like this movie? Leave a polite comment below. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, if you're just happening upon this because you're into James Bond, check out all the movie reviews that we've done. Mike, we've been doing this pretty much, I think, since February, the Bond reviews. I want to say it's been February. We'll look it up, but that's not great TV.
I'm not gonna go back and look it up.
Okay. So yeah, I love to know what your thoughts are on this. We've got one more of these.
Yeah.
God damn, we've got one more of these. Isn't that crazy? And then we're done. We can move on to other things. So next week, James Bond will return in No Time to Die. I really can't wait to hear what your thoughts are on this movie. Because I was expecting mid-tier Bond. And I mean, even the marketing made it felt like, okay, this is it, folks. Just suck it in, just deal with it. This is a view to a kill. No, this movie is. I loved it, but I'm not going to say any more until you watch it.
Yeah, I know you love it, but I've got a coworker
You're freezing
who
up again.
Really doesn't like it.
I'm sorry, they really what? They really didn't like it?
No, they don't.
I don't know if it's you or me. I don't know if it's you or me that's freezing out right now.
Yeah, well, your footage just kind of jumping around for me, so.
Oh, it's both. Oh God. Well, I apologize to everybody right now that this might be happening on either end. Anywho. So anyway, love to know your thoughts on this. Leave a comment below. If you like what we do, check out our podcast, Geek Salad Podcast, which is on every streaming app available. Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes. We're all there. Check us out there. Also, follow us on the social medias at Twitter, at Geek Salad Radio, Facebook at Geek Salad Podcast, and subscribe to the channel here. Check out our TeePublic store, keyword Geek Salad Podcast. Yeah. And I'm going to wait for you to come back. And until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
Go forth and be nerdful. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.